Hey guys, it's Mary. So happy to finally be done here at the end of the semester, end of our whole graduate career. I actually just got back from my first interview. Word to the wise, get the licensing. They were really happy to have me, except I'm not licensed quite yet. So get ready for that exam and go ahead and get it scheduled. Um, for this assignment, this kind of summary assignment, the areas that are most important to me that I would really like to work with upon graduation is within the substance use population. I worked in medication assisted treatment. It was my first case management position. It's the position I've been so far been at the longest and have the most experience in. And I'm really excited and eager to return to that. Our toolkit had a substance abuse element in it. And while I've been working with the homeless, which definitely substance abuse plays into, it's not been my exclusive focus. With this opioid epidemic that our nation is facing on the rise, I feel like it's something that's really close to me and that I have the best connection in best serving this population. Some things that have helped me really connect with this population as far as theory is, of course, cognitive behavioral therapy, as well as more theory-based behaviorism. When I was really truly able to understand that all behavior is functional, I was better able to connect with my clients to understand, even though substance use may be creating this really chaotic life and have very negative consequences, there's still some sort of benefit. So it's my responsibility to use that theory to understand in what ways that substance use continues to be beneficial to clients, and then to work from there to change that. The research that's helped me the most, honestly, has been this semester's toolkit. I mentioned that a little bit ago. We did have a specific focus of substance use within the military. Military is a population I don't have a ton of experience with, but some of my group mates have. And being able to understand the unique needs of that population and how substance use disorder and mental health intersects, and that it's really important to treat the mental health simultaneously with the substance use, because most times substance use is sort of a manifestation or a coping skill to try and address that mental health concern, especially within military, for PTSD diagnosis. And I was really interested to learn about moral injury within that population, which is just something, because of their occupation, really forced into situations to choose. Really, truly, those situations where there's no good choice. And then, of course, the practice that has been most beneficial to me with this population is my case management experience within medication-assisted treatment. I really learned a lot about the brain chemistry. I went in with an understanding of addiction as a disease, but I learned how methadone and Subutex and Suboxone all work, what's going on at the brain level, what neurotransmitters are affected, and everything that's going on with the body that creates that physical dependency. It was very much medication-assisted treatment because the medication got people stable, and I was able to kind of educate and explain and understand that part of it. And then we were able to focus with me in counseling the other behavioral component, again, coming back to that CBT and behaviorism. For my advocacy activity this semester, and my kind of one big idea, kind of nicely synced up, I've been working with the homeless population at the Road Home, which is the main shelter service provider in Salt Lake County. I was hired as an assessment and referral specialist, which is sort of a fancy title for a catch-all, in between the gaps kind of position. And what I initially started out doing was going to other agencies to strengthen our relationships, strengthen our referral process, get clients better connected to the services, other services that they might need while they're staying in shelter. One of the biggest things that I kept coming up against, and one of the biggest things that while I was working in medication-assisted treatment that was always really frustrating to me, is that I would provide these referrals and not really know anything else about the agency, really feeling like that interagency communication was very much lacking. We were very good at what we did, but we couldn't do everything, right? We all have our focus and our specialty, and we really need to strengthen and coordinate with other agencies in the community to be able to provide the most holistic and best care for all of our clients' needs. So for me, that's my big idea. It's something that I'm always going to be working towards with my career, is strengthening that meso level, interagency, community-wide communication. It's really important to coordinate care for our clients, and in an effort to address that, since I found that was such an issue, especially within Salt Lake County, I actually initiated a social media sort of advocacy effort on a platform called Slack. It's kind of meant to replace a lot of the emails and group text and all of these different things, Facebook Messenger, that we might have going on to try and communicate either between agencies or within our own agency. It's kind of social media-esque just because it borrows a lot of its formatting from Facebook, but basically it's the way that I've been using it is really as a way to connect agencies. Instead of having those 1 or 2 points of tenuous contact, this is meant to be including everybody in the conversation. It kind of comes from this idea of, if I have a question, somebody in Salt Lake County must know the answer, and wouldn't everybody else in Salt Lake County benefit from knowing the answer? So thinking of it kind of more of like this hub where we collectively share information, update our resources, update our agency hours, different things like that, so that we all can know what's going on and be on the same page. So it's been a little bit difficult getting it up off the ground. It really doesn't work unless everybody's participating. So I've had, DWS start to pick up on it and start storing some documents on there, which is really great. And people seem really excited about it, but people aren't really using it. And while it's meant to replace things right now, since not everybody's connected to it, it's been a little bit more of a hassle. So I'm not really sure where it's going to go. I mean, I've been reminding people and giving tutorials and trying to talk to people about it at other agencies that I'm going with. I'm really pushing it, but there's only so much I can do. People kind of have to utilize it within their own agency and see the results for themselves. So hopefully a little bit more time will tell, but the initial sort of getting people connected and getting the word out there has been started. With my Kent experience, the biggest thing that Kent has taught me is how. I may not know the answer, but I absolutely have the skills on how to figure it out. I know Kent is all about their critical thinking skills, but I have the framework. What I may lack in experience, I can make up with in tenacity and being able to figure out the solution. I also feel just more of a personal skill is working individually with clients. I really pride myself in fostering that rapport and that connection and building that trust. I try to stay away from the unsolicited advice, but I know that might be one of my things that I need to work on. Some other areas of growth for me is my emotional volume control. I know that when I get frustrated with situations or I see the gaps and I feel like I can see the solutions, and I feel like people aren't listening to me or we aren't making progress quickly enough, I get very frustrated with the system that I'm working in. And I feel like that comes off a little bit naive, or a little bit of a know-it-all, right? Just fresh out of grad school kind of thing. But that is definitely something that I'm trying to work on and figure out the more productive ways to go about having those conversations and creating effective change. I can also get a little bit, with that, I kind of want to discuss my point so badly and make my point. I really feel like I need to prove myself and as competent and knowledgeable. Sometimes I kind of forget to listen, which is sort of the whole point of social work, right? So that's something that I need to be aware of as well. But I mean, overall, like I said, this experience has been great. It's definitely expanded my knowledge and skill set. again, I may not know how to handle every situation exactly. I know half of our Kent School experience, all of our social work experience is practice. And so I feel like with time, a lot of these concerns that I have for myself will work themselves out, especially with proper supervision, which is going to be really essential and important to me with this, post graduation position. But overall, I've been really happy with my experience, and I'm excited to get out there and start practicing. Good luck to everybody, and thanks, guys.